everybody, Tyron the God 3 here, and welcome back to Fanfic Fridays reviews of Pokemon Universe. This is where, if you don't know already, it's the series, that I've made up, the Pokemon fanfic series that I've written, and I go over a lot of the episodes that I wrote down, and, talk about the writing process as well as the plot of each one, and then I will be giving a physical copy on MediaFire at some point. I just don't know when. However, I do want to go over the series and its progress so far as the writing has gone. So, that's for those of y'all who just jumped right in. I'm probably not going to keep doing an intro like that every episode because, that'll take too long and it'll be too wordy. But yeah, here's the second installment of the Pokemon Universe series. This episode is episode 2, Rival Kaz and the Thieving Hoot Hoot. This episode, when I was writing it, it was an obvious I needed Trent to have a rival episode. And this is going to set stone for a lot of milestones in Trent's life. And, a lot of these things are very much laid out for Trent's journey. And I have a soft spot for this episode in particular, only because this is one of the few, and I'd hate to really spoil this, but I wasn't really trying to hide it anyway. This is one of the few episodes where we see Trent just sort of by himself. Like, just other than episode 1, where in the journey he's kind of just fending for himself. It's kind of like looking back at this one based on how far I've written in the fanfic now. It's kind of funny to imagine Trent just in the journey by himself because he's accompanied by others. So yeah, in this episode, Trent goes back to Cherryville Forest. Only this time he's got a Pokedex, a Pokeball, Pokemon license, and Pichu at his side. And they're going into Cherryville Forest, and Trent's actually looking for Pokemon, and he's actually lost because, it's a forest. It all looks the same. But in the distance, Pichu hears a battle going on between a trainer and his Torchic while they battle off against the Spearow. And while they're fighting off against the Spearow, they see the Torchic, and Trent checks his Pokedex, and he'll be pointing his Pokedex a lot of, just for people who aren't familiar with the series or need to know exactly, for all 3 people in the world that don't know what Pokemon is, this fanfic is to get a better understanding of which Pokemon is which. So, yeah, Trent points his Pokedex, and when he does that, he sees that Kaz has weakened Spearow enough, and it's down. He throws the Pokeball at it and captures Spearow successfully. And Trent comes out and is going all, gaga over the fact that he just saw a Pokemon battle. He just witnessed the battle, and he witnessed the capture of a Pokemon. It was the coolest thing to him. So he comes out and he's, gushing over that, and Kaz basically calls him out on being a rookie trainer. He's like, if you were so impressed by such a little feat like catching a Spearow, you must be a rookie. So he's like, when did you start? Yesterday? And Trent's like, I did start yesterday. His Pokemon journey literally started yesterday. So when that happens, Kaz starts laughing at him, and then Trent is like, well, when did you start? Kaz's journey starts 3 days ago. So Kaz technically is a rookie too, but I made Kaz cocky. However, I didn't, with episodes coming up, you'll get to see a lot more of Kaz's character. He doesn't show up in every episode, but the episodes he does show up in, you'll get to see a lot of his character. And with that said, he basically shows himself off to be like this. He brings himself off to be a really good trainer because he and Torchic have done nothing but pure training for those 3 days. So then Trent challenges him to a Pokemon battle, and Kaz at first declines because he feels like there'd be no point in battling him or Pichu because Torchic wouldn't gain a lot of experience. Pichu's even insulted by this as well because Torchic gives off a smirk when Kaz compliments Torchic on how much stronger he thinks it is over Pichu. So then Trent calls him out on being a chicken and all of that stuff, and Kaz just sort of, I don't want to say breaks, but he kind of just like, you know what, fine, I'll beat you then. And the battle begins. And every time when I write down the battle in the script, you'll see like a this person versus this person deal. I liked it when they did it in X and Y, so I felt like it deserved a role in this. So after that, when the battle starts off with Pichu trying to attack Torchic with Headbutt, or Torchic comes at Pichu with Peck. And with battles, I'll do as well of a job as I can about explaining them, but when you see them in writing, they'll make a little bit more sense. Torchic charges Pichu with Peck, and when Pichu tries to charge with Headbutt, Pichu's Headbutt gets beaten out by Torchic's Peck. So then Pichu tries to go ahead and use Thunder Shock on Torchic. Torchic dodges it. Pichu winds up shocking himself because it's a Pichu, and electricity is going to hurt himself. Now, I know what you're thinking. Tyrone, are you going to keep that going throughout the entire series? I'll explain the shocking himself part later in a different episode. But as of now, yeah, that's what ends up happening. So then when Torchic dodges the attack, Torchic launches an Ember. Trent tells Pichu to dodge it. Pichu isn't fast enough, so he doesn't get to dodge the attack. Then Kaz tells Torchic to use Peck again, only this time he combines Peck with Ember. And yes, I will be explaining more about combination attacks as well, but for now, just take my word for it. Torchic goes ahead and charges and combines Ember with Peck. So now Torchic's running with Peck, and then the beak from Torchic's Peck emits into flames and hits Pichu, and Pichu gets hit with that combination attack, which does a lot of damage. Pichu falls back, and Pichu's down for the count, and Trent loses. After that, Kaz goes ahead and returns Torchic, and Kaz walks off and tells Trent to battle him again when he gets stronger. He also informs Trent that there is a orangeberry tree somewhere around the Cherryville nearby where Trent can go to heal up Pichu because of the battle. Then Kaz walks off and he's gone for basically the rest of the episode. Trent's really upset and he actually goes back to the orangeberry tree that Kaz pointed out and gives Pichu some orangeberries. Later on that afternoon, Pichu wakes up, and when Pichu wakes up, he's still eating the rest of the orangeberry, and Trent is upset. And when Trent is upset, Pichu tries to comfort him, and they both get really hungry, because the orangeberry, while it was good, it wasn't much of it. And Trent threw out all of the Pokemon food from the first episode to get the Beedrills off of Pichu. Trent's hungry and he doesn't have much except a piece of a sandwich. So Trent decides to go ahead and tear the sandwich in half, give half to Pichu, and give half to himself. And right before he's about to eat the sandwich, Hoot comes in and snatches Pichu's half of the sandwich. And I love how, like, I made Pichu cry a lot when he got that sandwich half taken. It was just really hysterical to see how heartbroken Pichu was. And then Trent is stopping and thinking long and hard about how he lost to Kaz. And he looks at Hoot, points his Pokedex at it, and then stops and goes, "Alright, Pichu, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and, regain our honor by battling this Hoot right here. We may have lost against Kaz and his Torchic, but we're going to gain some dignity by defeating this Hoot." So Pichu goes ahead and sucks up his tears and gets ready for battle. And Hoot is coming at it like completely clueless. Then finally sees Trent and Pichu come in ready to battle. Trent tells Pichu to use Headbutt, and Hoot is able to dodge the Headbutt with no problem because Hoots are known for their excellent timing due to the little marks on its head. He dodges the first Headbutt, and then Trent tells Pichu to use Thunder Shock, dodges that. Then Hoot comes in for a peck, and it hits Pichu for a while. And then Trent stops and thinks to himself, how are we going to beat this Hoot? It dodges it's got perfect timing. And then Trent thought to himself, okay, we'll use Tail Whip. So Trent tells Pichu to use Tail Whip. And Pichu's waving his tail back and forth and back and forth. Hoot's kind of confused by this, but he views this tail whip as an insult, flies towards Pichu, and then when he's like just a couple of inches close to Pichu, Trent quickly tells Pichu to turn around and use Thunder Shock. So Pichu quickly turns around, uses Thunder Shock on Hoot. Pichu hurts himself a little bit, but Hoot gets hit with most of it. And because it's super effective, Hoot's a flying type Pokemon, he ends up getting knocked back. Trent finally then takes one of his Pokeball, throws it, it opens, puts Hoot in there, wiggles 3 times, then clicks, and Hoot is successfully captured. And with that said, Pichu won the battle and regained his sandwich half, and Trent has finally captured his first Pokemon, Hoot. And then with that said, Trent he feels a lot better about himself. He may have lost to Kaz and Torchic, but he feels a lot better now that he knows that he's getting closer to becoming a Pokemon master. Well, this is one little step, but it's a step nonetheless. He's captured a Pokemon, and he's defeated it in battle, and he's captured a Pokemon. And Pichu's stronger because of the battle as well. Raises that Pokeball in the air, and then is like, all right, Kaz, look out. The next time we battle, I'm going to win. So Trent and Pichu walk off very triumphantly and head their way out of Cherryville Forest. And that is the end of the episode. Looking back on this episode now, I gotta say, it's short, but it has a lot of charm to it. I like it. I like it solely for the fact that I like the fact that Trent's on his own, and this is how he starts off his journey. It may not be the best way to start off a journey by losing to a rival and off the get-go and everything, but I do like how they present it. Like, well, it's me. I wrote it, damn it. But, no, I do love, I have a charm with the fact that Trent went ahead and caught his first Pokemon and beat it. Because I tend to forget about this, well, not forget about it, but this episode's so far back now. I'm so far ahead. Recalling this episode was just charming to me. Because this is how his team looks now and how his team looked back then are completely different. It's not, and it's because they've grown. So to see this episode again really brings a smile to my eyes. But I don't know how, but I really don't care how I feel about it. How do you guys feel about it? That's the main thing. That's what I'm really concerned about. I think it was a decent, fun episode. I liked the character cast because I use him a lot in the series. And he's not just a rival that shows up once every now and then. I try to bring him up, not frequently, but enough to make him relevant. And Hoodoo turns into a really colorful character in the series as well. So, yeah, it's good to look back on this episode and remember, oh yeah, this is the episode where he caught Hoodoo. So, yeah, I like moments like that. And it was a great one step forward to being a better trainer deal. So, yeah, I really liked it. And with that said, this episode is over. I'm done with the review for it, though. What did you think about the episode? What things you think can be improved? I would, if looking back on it, if I had to improve some things, which I still have the ability to do, I would just add a little bit more to it. There's not really much I could think of at the time, but during the mindset, this was the only real plot I can think of. With no other characters around, I really couldn't think of anything to focus on other than his rivalry and his first Pokemon, which are two major milestones in Trent's journey. And the fact that he gained them by himself, because, yeah, in the next few episodes, we'll start to see his traveling companions. So that'll be cool. Anyway, the next episode is called Gibble's Attack. Luna Appears. Episode 3, everybody. See you all then. Tyrone the God 3, out.